Is Good Boy truly a good movie? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, thank you very much for clicking on the thumbnail. This is my first film review on the channel, so I appreciate you checking it out with me. I'm an avid filmmaker and film watcher. As you can see on the channel, if you explored a little bit, some of my past short film works. So you can take a look there, but here you're here for film review, film analysis. So I'm gonna do more of kind of a rant style review, just kind of give you my thoughts on the film. I won't go into too many spoilers or any spoilers, I don't believe. So you should be okay there. All right, so we're looking at 2025's Good Boy, which is a Shudder release, follows the dog Indy and his owner, who are going into a new house. His owner is very sick and they're just trying to find a place to kind of chill for a while. And they go into a house that was previously owned by a previous family member, and they're just trying to relax in this house as the dog kind of senses maybe there's an ominous threat going on in the house. So let's start off with the good. I think the dog is pretty cute and you want to follow the dog. That's probably the big selling point of the movie, obviously. You want to see this fucking dog go about and like save the day. That's really what you're here for. The dog is super cute. We'll get into the kind of mix and bad, but the person I was watching with thought the emotion of the dog worked very well for them. They could really feel what the dog was feeling. Kind of spoilers for my thoughts. I didn't really tie into it too much there. I didn't really emote well with the dog. So I had kind of a disconnect there. You know, I want to see the dog survive. I want to see the dog do well, but I didn't really tie into the emotion of there's a spooky thing and now the dog is reacting to spooky thing and I think the dog's afraid of it. I didn't really sense that, but my friend did. So it's really all subjective there on kind of how you react to that. So I would say that's really the only good I have for this movie. For me, ultimately, the story was very bland and very unengaging. I just couldn't buy into this movie. It takes a long time to really get to the point. It's a lot of dogs walking around and we hear the owner talking to his sister or somebody on the phone to kind of further the plot a little bit. And then dog sees spooky thing and then dog reacts to spooky thing and then it cuts to another day and then rinse and repeat for a vast majority of the movie. It ultimately does kind of ramp up towards the end, which gets a little bit more interesting. But at this point, they've thrown a bunch of different concepts at you on what exactly is going on. Is it one thing? Is it another thing? Is it multiple things that are going on? And you don't have a classic narrative. The dog doesn't talk. This isn't a homeward bound situation. So you're really only getting kind of bits and pieces talking of the owner going on, and it doesn't really further the plot of what, like the A plot of what the dog is doing. So it's like you don't really know what's going on. You have to infer kind of from your previous movie watching experience. And the problem is they throw a bunch of things at you and a bunch of conflicting things at you that ultimately for me was incredibly fucking frustrating. Like I just was mad kind of throughout most of the movie. I'm like, all right, why do I care? This is super boring. And one thing you'll find on the channel, the ultimate sin a movie can do is be boring. And for the vast majority of the runtime, I was bored. Especially after the first scene you get with the dog and the kind of the freak out scene. All right, that's pretty cool. But then they do it over and over and over again. And it's like, come on, like do something new, do something interesting. I know you can only do so much, but watching this dog kind of non-expression react to thing, like it's super boring. Like I don't care. Again, it was me not really emoting with the dog. So it's like, I didn't fucking care about it. All right. And then ultimately, yes, I think the concept of the film, the big drawing power, we're seeing a movie in perspective of the dog, is what ultimately undid this movie for me. Again, as I inferred to it, you don't get a classic narrative structure in regards to like helping dialogue and action further the plot. You're just kind of seeing these images through the dog's point of view that you can't really connect to in regards to a plot moving forward because you can't hear their thoughts and feelings about what exactly is going on. You have to infer that yourself, which is perfectly fine. But again, as I said, I think there are multiple things at play here, that it could be one thing, could be another thing, and you ultimately don't get those resolved in the end. You don't exactly know exactly what happens. So I think truly the concept is interesting. I would say stay towards the end of the movie. The director, who is also the star, I believe, and their dog, Indy, is the star of the film, go through an explanation of how they went about making this film over a long period of time, which I think was the far more interesting thing about everything that I saw in the film. So definitely stay for the end and kind of get that explanation. That was actually pretty cool that they did that. But yeah, ultimately, this movie was a very frustrating watch for me. I had trouble just really engaging in it and really sticking with it. There was nothing interesting around like shots and perspective. Again, it's a lot of jump scares, a lot of like creepy shadows and things like that. It ultimately does ramp up a little bit towards the end, but nothing I would say that really sustains the runtime for me in regards to being really wanting to be engaged in this film. So ultimately, I give this movie a 1.5 stars out of 5. I'm going to do my rankings kind of based off of Letterboxd. So it was very close. I do have the dubious honor of a fuck this movie category. I was just swimming along that line for quite a big part of the film. I was that frustrated by the film. But ultimately, I don't think it actually got that bad. To me, it's definitely on the lower end of this year, but it never got a big dumpster fire like some other films over this year. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed this review. Again, I'm going to hopefully be doing these more frequently. We'll see new releases. I hope to have a series of kind of older films, and I'm going to try to do the whole genres. I do love horror films, so we'll probably see a heavy dose of horror films on this channel, but I'm going to try to get other types of films too. So I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this style. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please follow me on Letterboxd. I'm at 0cool55. Cool if you understand that film reference. This shirt, please comment below if you know what movie this is from. I would be shocked if anybody does, but trying to get it in view so you can see it. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe on the channel, on the video, and hopefully I'll see you moving forward. I love talking about movies. I love ranting about movies. So you'll get a sense of kind of how I talk about them. Well, if I don't see you again, bye forever.